Welcome, my friends, to the Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. I'm Deborah Deras, your host. Each week, you'll hear from top experts in the speaking industry who will share their insider secrets. Learn what works and what doesn't by hearing real stories of success and failure. My intention is to be your speaking coach to help you reach your goals faster and easier. I believe you are the messenger for the message. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get started. Welcome back to another great episode of Be a Paid Speaker Now. And today's guest is like every other. Amazing, awesome sauce. And I'd like to say a firecracker. She is a peak performance speaker who has been speaking for over 17 years, almost 2 decades, to companies like JP Morgan, General Electric, Farmers Insurance, State Farm, Kaiser, British Petroleum, and a spokesperson for Verizon. She was one of the top 10 Latina speakers in the country and came in 15th out of 1,000 speakers competing in North America's Next Greatest Speaker by the E-Women's Network with Lisa Nichols as a judge. She is a firecracker. She is a charismatic and entertainment speaker. She is no other than the Deborah Deras. It's me, friends. You like that introduction? I wish that every time I would go to speak, I would get such an introduction. And let me tell you, most of the times I do. Why? Because here's a pro tip, everyone. I write my introduction and I give it on a piece of paper, not on an iPad, in huge letters to whoever's presenting me. Usually I've already emailed them about a month before, but usually they forget or whoever is supposed to tell them forgets. So you always want to bring not one, but 2 hard copies in case you lose it, so you have it. And that's just one of the many tips I am going to give you today, because today's Be a Paid Speaker Now is all about how to secure paid speaking engagements, how to keep paid speaking engagements so that your flow is going, and how to make your audience members your sales team. This is going to be a great show. And before I even get started, I want to just say thank you for your comments. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes. We just started this podcast. It's, when I say we, me, myself, and I, and my podcast coach. And so it's been a labor of love. It was a lot more difficult than I thought. I'm like, how hard can it be? Audio. So easy. I've done video. Trust me, friends, it's hard. It's not easy. Getting on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all the editing involved. It's a little complex, but with a coach, I've been able to do it. So thank you, Vincent Serrano, my podcast coach, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your reviews. So in the next segment, we are going to go over 5 steps that are going to help you be paid to speak faster and easier, my friends. And they're coming specifically from the questions that you've had for me. Number 1 is, how do I get started? What is the first thing that I need to do to be able to be paid and to be on stage? You ready for this? You need to be confident. That's why the prerequisite to my Be a Paid Speaker Now online academy is speaking with confidence. Until you believe in yourself and in the value of your expertise, which, by the way, your expertise isn't just education, it isn't just all of your life experience. It's what you bring to the stage. It's your exuberance. It's the interaction with the audience. It's the entertainment value. There's so much that goes in to being a paid keynote speaker, and you have to really evaluate what is your expertise. And when you know that you have it, whether it's work, life, or a combination of everything that you've been through, then you have to absolutely know that even though there may be 10, 20, 100 other people speaking on the same exact topic to maybe potentially the same exact audience, there's no one that is going to deliver it like you, my friends. You are going to deliver it with your stories, your facts, your style, that's unlike anyone else's. And that is what people are going to want you. So you have to identify, what is my secret sauce? What is it I bring? What is my signature story? What is my life experience that has led me up until this point that gives me so much confidence that I can get on that stage in front of 1, 10, 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 people and be able to drop that mic? Boom. But it's the confidence that you bring. So you want to ignite that confidence by practicing. Where are you going to practice? I am still to this day, after 17 years of speaking, at a Toastmasters club. Why? Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization. You can go to toastmasters.org that actually started my speaking career. People say, how did you get started? Well, I was going to Toastmasters a couple times a week for 3 years. And after speaking consistently, that's a key as well, I was asked, where do you get paid to speak? And I was like, I don't get paid to speak. And they said, well, would you speak at this event? And I said, sure. What is the budget? And they said, 250. I'm like, fantastic. And it was going to San Diego, speaking to a Hispanic organization. It was awesome. And I believed in myself because I had practice. So it's not just something one day you wake up and you decide you want to become a speaker because you've got years of experience. You also, like any craft, need to practice. If you were going to be a drummer, you would need to practice drumming, not in your house, but in front of people. This is why comedians like Chris Rock and, the Wayans brothers still go to the little comedy clubs. Why? Because they want to see how the jokes are hitting with a real life audience. You're not going to have the same experience practicing your speech in front of a mirror at home as you will in front of real people that are staring at you like this, giving you that mean mug grin. You're like, wow, they really hate me. When actually they love you. They're just processing the information. So you will get the confidence by practicing in front of a real audience. If you don't want to go to Toastmasters, then volunteer. There's organizations, business associations that are looking for people to step up in leadership. You step up. Step up to be that president and speak 15 minutes at every single meeting, and you will get asked to speak. That is exactly the other thing besides Toastmasters. I was part of the Latin Business Association. This was back in the 90s. And I started a Latina group, which was all women. And every meeting, we met once a month, I would speak for 15, 20 minutes. Where do you think I booked State Farm, Farmers Insurance, all of those companies? It was from the audience members at that group that I volunteered for. So you want to be visible to get paid to speak. But number one, step one, confidence is key. Then you want to know, well, where do I speak? Who do I speak to? The first thing you want to ask yourself is, what is my expertise? What is your expertise? Because clarity is cash, my friends. And when I say cash, it's because you need to focus your attention and your energy. I hear often speakers that come to me in the Be a Paid Speaker Now Academy or in the Synergy Mastermind group, and they say, you know what? My message is really for everyone. And I say, yes, it can be for everyone. But when Oprah first started her $1 billion empire, she didn't go on TV and say, I'm going to reach everyone. She said, I'm going to focus on stay at home moms, and I'm going to speak to women that are at home. And guess what? From there, she built out her niche to be $1 billion brand. And you can do the same, but clarity is cash. What is your expertise? And who is the market that is your most favorite people to speak to? Start with your favorites because you're going to enjoy it a lot more. Who do you love to speak to? I have a client, she's a doctor. She's a holistic medicine doctor that combines Western and Eastern medicine doing epigenetics, which I didn't know anything about until I started coaching her. And now I have several doctors that are all specializing in epigenetics, which is the science of how your environment affects your health. So fantastic. I learned so much from coaching. So she is focused on speaking to healthcare workers and caregivers. These are people like nurses and therapists that give so much, but also need to give back to themselves to have happier, healthier lives. Cool, right? So that is her focus. And having that niche will allow her to really put all of her energy and her attention into that market. If she was saying, I'm going to speak to everyone, she's not going to have enough time, not enough energy, and not enough cash to do the marketing. So when I first started, my niche found me, which was Latina professionals. Because I was doing a lot of speaking at the Latin Business Association, most of the people that were members there were Latina professionals. And they were the ones that brought me into their companies. And there's employee resource groups that have specialty just for Latina professionals. So my first big paid gig and repeat gig was for the Social Security Administration to their Latino ERG group. And they said, well, who's better to speak to this group than a Latina speaker? So became known in that niche. In fact, to this day, if you look up Latina speaker, who are you going to find? Your friend, not Ghostbusters, Deborah Deras, be a paid speaker now. Okay. So that was a niche that I discovered through just getting out there. So don't rack your brain and get stuck and not get started to speak because you don't know your niche. Because some of you, when you are just focused on your expertise, your niche will find you. But the next question that you may want to ask me is you like how I'm asking my own questions to me? I know what you're thinking. I was a professor for 12 years, which taught me a lot about owning a platform because I taught from 6 to 10 p.m. And those students were tired after working 8 to 5, but they still showed up to class and I learned how to capture their attention, to captivate them and inspire them. And that helped me during a lot of corporate trainings. But what you need to have is a calling card. You need to have, when people are typing a name into Google, what are they going to type to find you? And one of my clients said, oh, they're going to type my name. They don't know your name. It would be nice if we were a household name, tissue and Kleenex, right? That's a household name. Or Coca Cola and soda, household name. But are you a household name? Most likely, no. People, no matter how many years I've been out in the world, if somebody is in Iowa looking for a speaker for their Latino event, are they going to know Deborah Deras? Maybe, probably not. But what they will know is Latina speaker. And when they put that into Google, they need to be able to find me. And this is where I teach a lot of social media. In fact, I have a social media class for speakers, Facebook for speakers, LinkedIn for speakers, YouTube for speakers, and Instagram for speakers. Why? Because I book contracts with Verizon, NASA Space Center, and many, many, many others, Procter and Gamble, all through these social media platforms. This is your calling card. This is your brand. What do you want to be known for that you're going to position yourself? You, as a speaker, are a personal brand. Did you know that? You are a personal brand. And the only way that you're going to be known is by focusing your energy and your attention on that niche, on the pain or problem that you solve. I help busy professionals that are working for companies to achieve peak performance. I teach them to optimize their energy, to prioritize their time so that they can maximize their potential within their organizations. And that's why I'm being brought into HR organizations. But in the niche, usually for professional Latinas. That's not to say I can't speak to other groups. I'm speaking to a huge group of human resource managers coming up in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm not mad at myself for going to Fort Lauderdale. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Bahamas, friends. But the thing is, the niche is that I am a peak performance speaker. That's my topic. I'm not saying that I'm an expert at communication or expert at leadership or an expert at all of this other stuff. Peak performance is my niche. I wrote the book, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict: How to Achieve More with Less Effort. Peak performance, optimizing energy, managing time, and achieving your potential. Do you see that? So it's really clear. So there's a distinction between your expertise and your audience, right? So your expertise is what you've studied and worked, have life experience that has done that. Your audience is the people that benefit from your message. But you need to be clear with your branding. You need to brand you. Ask yourself this question: what do I want to be known for? If at the end of my 20 years speaking or 30 years speaking, what will people know me for? Brian Tracy, sales. John Maxwell, leadership. Lisa Nichols, abundance. Michael Beckwith, manifestation. Think about Deborah Deras, peak performance for Latina professionals. What do you want to be known for? Allow that to sink in. And for those of you that are struggling with this, just be still for a moment. One of the things that I teach when I'm speaking is strategies to really tap into your superconscious mind. That's the genius potential that Carl Jung talked about. And you can only access that when you're in a calm, relaxed state, when you're being mindful. When you're thinking in your left brain, it's just going to go back to the problem, because Einstein says we cannot solve a problem from the consciousness that created it. So when you're thinking, you're going to get into a loop of problem, problem, problem. What you want to do is stop thinking and start being. And you could do that by going for a walk on the beach or taking some deep breaths or getting out in nature. But you want to be still, because instead of trying to upload what is the answer, you want to have a what I call a divine download to catch the vision that is your life. And when you catch the vision, it's going to be the success with ease and grace way. It's not what you think you should do because that's what's going to make you money, or what you think that is your only option to do because that's what your education dictates. No, you want to tap into the infinite potential, which happens when you're mindful, when you're present, that superconscious mind that goes beyond the limitations of our thoughts, experiences. It taps into our infinite potential. And I know I sound like I'm doing a motivational speech, but listen to me. I'm telling you, after coaching people for years and years and years, I know that you can't solve a problem from the consciousness that created it. You have to be still, ask, listen, hear, and then take inspired action. So you have to be still, ask, listen, hear, and then, my friends, take inspired action. So that's how you're going to discover your calling card. And by the way, I have a program. It's called Be a Paid Speaker Now Academy that leads you through all of this. There's a 70-page workbook. There's 16 videos. If you want to do that, I also have a mastermind, private coaching, all these things that are here to support you. Or you could just listen to these podcasts and do them on your own. But listen and take action. Next step, you want to be able to generate business. It's not just enough to wait for Google to deliver you speaking engagements. Trust me, I did that for many years. And there was a time in the speaking industry that you could do that. You could just sit back, boom, wait for the phone to ring, wait for the email to come. Fantastic. And then now, guess what happened? Phone stopped ringing, emails stopped coming. Why? It's a different industry. The speaking industry has changed and evolved. Why? Because there's on demand printing books. Everybody's an author. There's influencers now. So everybody is a social media celebrity. And then there's celebrities that are speaking. So, how do we compete as experts? How do we stay relevant in the field? Well, we have to put ourselves in a position of relevance by how? Letting people know that we're here, doing a podcast, doing a Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live. That's why I teach social media classes, because I want to help people to get their message out into the world. The reason I'm so passionate in doing all these things is, what would the world be like if everybody was living on purpose? If everybody was following their soul's contract? Would we have all of this anxiety, fear based consciousness? No, we would have purpose based consciousness, which is based on love. And that is a different world. And that's the world I want to live in. And I have to be the change I want to see in the world. So I'm cultivating messengers to do this. Buy my podcast, buy my online academy, buy the mastermind, private coaching, all of that. It's to help you get your message out there. So you can make a list of income generating activities. I call them IGAs. Number one, you could podcast, or Are you down with OPP? You could be on other people's podcasts. I'm so funny. Only people from the 90s will get my joke. Not in my nature. Are you down with OPP? Other people's podcasts. Number two, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live. If your audience is 35 and up, definitely Facebook. If your audience is 35 and under, definitely YouTube and Instagram. Isn't that easy? So easy. Okay, another thing you could do, you could blog. 350 words of focused content answering the pain or problem that your ideal target market has. What is the answer to that problem? Say it and get it out there. The reason why blogs are so effective is those keywords, those search terms that people are looking for in Google to find you. When your blog comes up, guess what comes up? You, my friends, you come up. And then people are able to hire you as a speaker because they read your blog. Ah, that's why we blog. Yes, it increases your discoverability, your ability to be found into the Google search engine. So, what else can you do to cultivate leads? Let me tell you, this is the number one way that I book speaking. You ready? You ready? Drum roll, please. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. It is speaking for free. What? Yes, I said the F word, free. You're like, wait a minute, Deborah. This is the Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. Why are you using the F word, free? Well, how do you think that people, even Lisa Nichols, even Brian Tracy, even John Maxwell, when they first started out, they were out there getting on the microphone for no money, for free. Lisa talks about this in all of her programs because you need to let people know the value that you bring. You can't just put up a website and say, I'm a speaker. People need to see video, they need to see pictures. The proof is in the hearing you, the experiencing you. People do business with people they like, they trust, and they respect. And people make business decisions based on the five senses: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. So when they see a video of you, they can see you, they can hear you, they can feel you. And if they had smell-o-vision, they can smell you, right? So you want to be out there as much as possible speaking. Not just anywhere though. Listen up. You want to be where your target market is, where your ideal people are. Remember, clarity is cash, and the calling card is your brand. So you want to brand yourself a specific way to answer the pain or problem that these ideal people have. So if your ideal target market is teachers, don't go speak to engineers. You're not going to match. They're not going to like you. You're going to be too much for them, right? So you want to speak to the audience that is in your niche so they have the potential to hire you. How are they going to hire you? When you go to speak for free, you have certain contingencies, right? You say, okay, I'll speak for free. However, I need these things. Number one, I need to videotape. And you just bring your tripod, bring your fancy schmancy Android. Android's better than iPhone when it comes to video. Or you have a cameraman, you record it, right? Make sure you have good sound, good lighting, because you need this footage. Next thing, you take pictures, not just any pictures, but pictures of you interacting with the audience. Everybody wants to have an engaging, interacting speaker. In today's day and age, there's no room for just boring speakers. It's all about edutainment. They want someone that's educational, but also entertaining, my friends. So you want to make sure you have pictures of you engaging, signing books, asking questions, interacting with the audience, etc. Next thing, you want to get a testimonial from that person. You did a speaking engagement for free. You need a testimonial and get the permission to use their logo on your website. Get like a one sentence testimonial. Usually, after I talk, people will say, oh my God, Deborah, you're so fantastic. And they'll say, blah, 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 blah. I will write down whatever blah, blah, blah they said, and I will email it to them. And I'll say, remember when you said this? Can I use this as a testimonial? So you're pretty much writing it for them, and they just say, okay. Easy. Breezy, my friends. Success with ease and grace. This is how we do it. Next, you like this so far? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? So you get video, you get photographs, you get testimonials. The next thing, you want to make sure that you ask them for referrals for paid speaking engagements. One, two, or three. You just gave them the speech of their lifetime. In fact, most of the time, if they have a budget or if they will create a budget, if you knock it out of the park, they will find money to pay you again. They're like, oh, you were so great when I spoke for JP Morgan, and they did pay me. This was in Manhattan, New York. They also brought me into Delaware because they wanted their other department to get benefit of what I was talking about. You see that? When you are excellent in what you do, that's why the confidence piece is so important, you will get repeat business. It's just inevitable because you're helping them look good. Of course, they want to bring you in. You are helping them look good. So, the next thing that you want to do is you want to be able to create so much buzz that they will want to bring you into other departments. How are you going to create that buzz? It leads me to the next and final step, which is step 5. You want to have a call to action. So, how are you going to create buzz? You're going to always over deliver. What are you going to do? Over deliver. You're going to over deliver by not just giving a fantastic speech, but you're going to have an Oprah moment where you give away something that they really, really want. So, for example, you may be talking about 5 steps for negotiation, right? And you're not just going to talk about negotiation. You're going to give them your free ebook on negotiation tools. And they're going to get it right away on their phone because they're going to download it. So you're going to, at the end of your speech, you're going to have a call to action. This is step 5, call to action. You're going to tell them what you need to do is go to deborahderas.com slash whatever, CTA. Then put your name and email, and instantly you're going to get the ebook, or instantly you're going to get the PowerPoint. And I would give them time during your speech to do it. Because if you wait till after, guess what? They get busy. They have other things going on. They've got kids, they've got husbands, they've got wives. They're not going to get to it. And you're going to miss out on that connection with them. Because it's not enough just to be with them in the room. You want to stay connected with them so they could be on your email list. So you're top of mind. So next time they have an event, they can invite you to speak. Oh, wow. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? This is good stuff, right? Aren't you glad I'm interviewing myself? Okay, great. Okay, so say you don't want to do an email list, you don't have time for email, you could do a text. I know my last guest, Micah Ross, has a text program that they could just text keyword synergy 5555, right? And then they could get on my email list and I could send them that way. But no matter what, you want to keep them connected to you because the best way to get speaking engagements is to make your audience your sales staff. They already know how fantastic you are. They already know the benefit that you had in their life, and they want to put it in other people's life. So you need to give them an opportunity to get on your email list, stay connected with you. Cool. Another thing you could do is you could do a giveaway, like something, where everyone gets a book under their chair. But it's only going to work if there's like an incentive in the book to get on your email list or get on the text list. You cannot let people leave the room without getting on your list. Why? Because in internet marketing, the money's in the list. And that's how you stay connected. And that's how you have a call to action that leads to paid speaking gigs. Okay, let's review, my friends. This has been a fantastic podcast, hasn't it? Step 1. How do you get started as a speaker? Number 1, confidence is key. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that your life experience, your work experience, your expertise, your engagement, your beingness is worthy of being paid. And have the confidence by practicing. Get to Toastmasters, volunteer to take a leadership committee appointment, and be paid. And be out there by speaking. Step 2, clarity is what? Cash. You're only going to have cash if you focus your attention, your energy. You can't say I'm speaking to everyone. Oprah didn't start out with everyone. She started out with stay-at-home moms. Who are you going to start out with? What is your expertise and focus your energy and attention on that. Mine is peak performance. That's why I wrote the book, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, How to Achieve More with Less Effort. DeborahDeras.com/book. Then, step 3, calling card, my friends. You want to know, what do you want to be known for on the microphone? Okay? What are people going to Google to find you? How are they, what 3 to 4 words are they going to type into the Google search engine that is your website is going to come up, or your blog, or your podcast, or your video, your YouTube video? What is it? And you have to put yourself out there. That's why step 4 is cultivating leads. If you have no seeds in the World Wide Web's search engine, when they look for that, black doctor, holistic speaker, there's nothing, they're not going to find anything if there's no website, if there's no blog, if there's no YouTube, if there's no LinkedIn. So you have to put stuff out there to get stuff in here. Does that make sense? What you put out is what you get put back. So having social media, branding, website, getting yourself out there is going to be very, very important. And this is why I created my Facebook for Speakers class, YouTube for Speakers class, all of that. Okay. Step 5, call to action. It's not just enough to do all of that stuff. You have to get out there and speak. So when you're out there and speak, give them an opportunity to get on your email list, to get on your text list, to stay connected with you, because that's how you are going to be asked back to speak. Wow, this was so much information. I'm so glad I could have Deborah Deras as a guest today. Because speaking for Procter & Gamble, General Electric, Verizon, State Farm, Farmers Insurance, all of these organizations and associations and colleges, I've learned so much, and I want to share and teach it with you. And that's why I have created a Be a Paid Speaker Now online academy, mastermind group. If you want more information, you can go to beapaidspeakernow.com, or you could join me in September. I'm starting a new program called Ignite Your Speaking, which is a monthly membership group, Facebook, webinars, all this fun stuff. And you could get that information by joining my email list. Wow. Am I doing a call to action right now? Oh, yes, I am, because I practice what I preach. I pick up what I throw down. You could get my free ebook at DeborahDeras.com/speak now. And then you'll get invited to all of the programs that I have so that I can support you, that I can help you, so that you can be that messenger for the message, so that this world can be a purposeful one, so that you can use the power of synergy to achieve your goals. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your reviews. If you like this podcast, I really appreciate a review. I really appreciate you letting other people know about all of the wonderful programs that are available to them. Let them know that there's great speakers, that there's great content, all of that. You can put a 5-star review on iTunes. Share it with your friends, because sharing is what? Caring. So I want to remind you that with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Thanks. Join us next week for more juicy secrets to get you paid to hit that stage. If you would like to grab my free ebook on how to be a confident speaker, go to www.deborahderas.com/speak now. And remember, you are the messenger for the message.